Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth chapter of the Digital Trailblazer author series. I'm Isaac Sacolick, the author of Digital Trailblazer. And if chapter 3 had some of my favorite stories, chapter 4 around product management and architecture, and chapter 5 around Agile probably have my most important innovation lessons. So listen up to this video with Ginny Hamilton interviewing me about chapter 4, Product Management and Architecture, Trials and Triumphs. Welcome back, Ginny. And for those of you who don't know Ginny, she's a former journalist. She's led a CIO community, and she's the Digital Trailblazer editor. Hi, Ginny.
Hey, Isaac. And as your editor, I was really impressed with how you were able to bring to life the leadership challenges faced by so many different roles. You talked about developers, IT operations, product managers, and architects. And those are the two titles that you focused on in chapter 4, product managers and architects. And it's clear that you hold them in really high regard. And so I'm curious, why is that?
Well, you think about those two roles, they have to do a lot of leading through influence, right? Product management has its roadmap and its features and its user experience. Architects have their roadmap in terms of plans around technology and components and how to build things. And they're both trying to influence development teams and data scientist teams in terms of what and how they're building things. Ultimately, those teams are self-organizing and empowered to do a lot of the work themselves, but they need their guidance from the architects and the product management team in terms of what they're building. So a lot of leadership by influence, but also they need to provide a roadmap. Right, that roadmap is for stakeholders. It's for the organization to understand where the architecture is going and what capabilities that are going to get tapped into, how to scale systems and so forth. And so these teams, these leaders, architects and product managers, they need to be able to sell their roadmap and then deliver against the outcomes they're promising against that. So just a very hard role to really stay on top of.
So it sounds like just the challenges of the role in and of itself help you have a great respect for it. And that really comes through in your writing. And is that also why you chose to talk about product management and architecture in the same chapter? Or what was your thinking there of bringing these two roles together in the same chapter?
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about it, they're both highly roles that really rely on communications.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that they're doing is, the easiest thing is to write up a PowerPoint and then, here's the wireframe, or write up a PowerPoint and here's a beautiful architecture.
Right.
The development team looks at this thing and says, I don't know what to do with this thing. This is as far from reality. I'll never
Right.
get around to all the technical debt. They're asking for something that's too expensive to build. And so we really need product managers and architects to walk with their teams, sit in their shoes, understand what it takes to implement things, be influential in terms of what and how they're building things. And that's how we end up delivering great experiences, but also architecting our solutions so that they're scalable for future demand.
Got it. And some of my favorite stories are also in this chapter related to your son and the roadmap that he devises, which I won't spoil. Great story, though. You talk about, bringing new ideas to market in this chapter. And you also mention innovation requiring collegial debate and stepping on each other's toes. You spend some time on that. And so I'm curious if you can elaborate on what that means to you as it relates to innovation and this collegial debate notion and stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, so let's decompartment this. Innovation doesn't happen through consensus. It needs a diverse team looking at a problem or looking at an opportunity through different experiences and skills, and that creates their lens around this. That, often brings about a debate over what's the right problem to solve for, or what's the right solution to focus on, or how we should implement this solution. So when I bring a group together, I want that debate. I want passion. I want that argument to happen right in that session so that when we make some decisions, we can go off and understand that we've already had the conversation that led to that. Part of it is, we like to separate problem and solution, but the reality is when I give an answer, when I give my opinion around something, It might have some user experience, it might have some data in there, it might have some security in there. I don't want people to feel like I'm stepping into their turf or stepping on their toes around their experiences. I want them to come back to me and push back and say, Isaac, you have the right idea here, but here's how we implement the experience in a better way, or here's how we implement security to the right set of standards. So I don't want people to feel like I'm stepping on their toes. I want them to respond and react to that, because ultimately we're on the same team to provide a great and excellent solution given the capabilities that we have together.
And there's a tool that you talk about too that the team can use to rally around to maybe solve for some of this debate early on in the process so that they can debate more important things. And this is your one-page vision statement. It's available for download on your website, on the book's website. And I wonder if you can talk about the essence behind using a one-page vision statement and what its role is.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have to build a lot of documentation to garner support around an investment, but usually that's not useful for the team who's actually implementing things. We want to provide a North Star, a vision over what we're doing. The template that I provide has that North Star, and you define the time frame. You know, sometimes I'm writing a vision for the next 3 months. Sometimes it's a vision for the next 3 years, right? And half of it is being able to understand who the customer is. It's not the whole enterprise, it's specific groups, it's specific departments, it's specific personas that we're trying to impact. What's the value that we're trying to deliver to them? So really having a good understanding of the customer up front, and then the strategic intent on the other side of that template. Why are we doing this now, right? Every organization has way too many priorities. So if we're going to define a vision, we need to be able to sell why this is important to focus on right now. What's the constraints that we're going to live through when we define solutions around them? There might be time constraints, financial constraints, compliance constraints, and that sets a realistic expectation around the solutions that our teams go embark on. So that's why it's one page. That's why what's in there, it looks rustically simple, but every group that I've worked with has loved and used it and made it part of their organization whenever they bring up a new initiative and start working on it together.
Sometimes the simple tools are the best tools, and this is a really great one that you share in the book. And I'm thankful that you're able to share that with readers. It's available for download on the website. Check it out. And with that, Isaac, I'll toss it back to you.
Thanks, Ginny. Thanks for watching this episode of the Digital Trailblazer author interview series. Please sign up for my YouTube channel and subscribe. That's the Driving Digital Stand-Up. And if you buy the book, Digital Trailblazer, you'll learn how to get access to the Digital Trailblazer community, where I have tons of more content and videos to accelerate your learning around digital transformation. Thank you and have a great day.